Welcome back, beautiful soul. In this video I decided to do the same as the secret technique for healing, but this time for another part of self, and I give you some prompts and some affirmations and script that you can use on your own. I call it the protective part, or the fear protective part, whatever you name it. But how this part works remembers everything what you have gone through in the past, trying to protect you from being hurt, or trying to protect you to not having the same experience as you had before in the past. Many people strongly controlled by that part, and they don't even aware of it, and they act unconsciously of that part. Tell you how to detect that part, some questions and some prompts that you can ask to that part. For example, if you had a relationship from past and maybe for some reason this relationship didn't work, or maybe that person abandoned you or hurting you, it doesn't matter, but you get hurt in that relationship before, and now this part is trying to protect you by constantly telling you become aware. They unconsciously telling that no one is trustworthy, and that part telling you can't trust anyone, you will always get hurt, you have to prepare yourself from being hurt at any time, and that part makes you live in hyper vigilance all the time. And I tell you how to heal that part completely. We start the questions. You have to understand that when we do this healing, you have to acknowledge that. Try to remove the fear. Part is also you, and it's doing a good job for trying to protect you and protect your boundaries. It's better for you to understand that part rather than trying to get rid of it. You have to integrate it with love by understanding how the inner child part works. Imagine the inner child part of you that we called the protective part before. Imagine seeing her or seeing him and asking some questions to that part. First question is, what are you protecting me from? You have to ask that part of and let the answer to rise. Most of the parts answer for that question. They are protecting you from being hurt. They don't want to get the same hurt as you experienced from the past before, or tell him anything that can make him or make her trust in you and relieving him or relieving her from being hurt, and can lean into you. I also give some prompts and some affirmations for each part, for each answers and question. Check the description below. Second question would be, what kind of hurt are you most afraid of? This is so deep. You should ask your inner child. You have to acknowledge that and let the inner child revealing the answer to you. What kind of hurt that the inner child most afraid of? Answer is, and then they are afraid of being rejected, and they are afraid of not being chosen, or mostly all the core wounds and being abandonment, being rejected, or not being chosen, anything, it doesn't matter. But the most important thing here is all the fears that the inner protective part or the inner child feels afraid of comes from when you abandon yourself. For example, you abandon yourself for being loved by another people, or you abandon your own needs, anything, but you lose yourself in connections. That's why that fear, that protective part created at the first place. It exists because the protective part of you seeing you how you losing yourself in connections, and that's why it's the first place this fear existed, just to protect you to not losing yourself again in connections or in relationships. Third question would be, what does losing yourself mean to you? May comes from abandoning yourself, depend on another person, I mean your emotional security or your foundation depend on another person's. And the last question would be, what are you afraid would happen if I stayed true to myself in a relationship? This is so deep because so many people don't even dare to ask that question. They will fear of, if you stay true to yourself, they reject you or they abandon you, they leave. Most importantly, that inner child self, maybe they will leave, or maybe they will not love me anymore, or anything. After you did everything, you imagine the inner child part of you, imagine her or imagine him here in front of you, hug her or hug him, and bring the inner child into your heart. After that, you feel some old memories or some tensions or some emotions rising. I mean, basically you become emotional and you become sensitive, and I want to tell you, it doesn't last forever. You feel sad, you can cry, you can release the emotion, but never use a subliminals, never use meditation or frequency or anything to fix that. Fix the emotion. It's like you going backwards into the starting point. You have to let the emotion rising and releasing. Thank you for everything.